Hello, hello. Welcome back to Purple Nuna Podcast. This is recording 2 because Savanna leaked vital information and we had to restart the entire video. Don't mention anything on it, but I will just say she spoiled something that she shouldn't have. And
Yeah.
it is like a friend of ours who does listen to this. And immediately when she said the reveal, she went, "Oh, we have to stop."
Yeah,
So
it was
this is
bad.
take 2. This is take 2. And I was like, wait, isn't this going to be up before then? No, it's not. So it's a whole thing. So we are wired. We are ready. And we miss you guys. So in the
Yay!
last episode and things like that, or the previous recording before it got spoiled, we were talking about like we were just gone and away for a bit. We had like just some things with recording weren't lining up, whether it be technical issues or school, because both Savannah and I are in, graduate programs. So please keep in mind, like Purple Noon cannot be a priority to us all the time. It's just life. And I'm sure most of you people listening understand that. I always feel bad because I see like people like on TikTok and stuff, and they're like uploading videos every day, and I'm like, don't you work? Don't
Yeah.
you work? Like,
No.
what are you doing? And I think some of them actually do that now for work, but it
No, that's what
takes
I'm, yeah,
a lot
exactly.
of hustle, and TikTok is just a wasteland right now. So if you're like, why are they both absent on there as well too? I don't know if you do any TikToks anymore, but we were just having a ton of issues with like, I don't want to say haters because that just people like, I don't know, like just people who don't know how to listen to an opinion, I guess. It
Yeah.
was very weird. So that's why we also kind of dropped the ball on TikTok and stuff. I've been re-uploading some just for content and stuff like that here and
Yeah,
there
yeah.
onto the YouTube channel, whatnot. But we are back. We really, really want to maintain this and keep this up. So we are really trying to make a schedule that's going to more so cater to that. Even if, like, let's say we can't do a full podcast episode, we might do a quick chat, which is usually about 30 minutes. But we were just talking about how we're not going to be afraid to do maybe a little bit of a sped up review, as long as like the main points are like driven and all that type of
Yeah.
stuff. So but excited to be back. So
Yay!
besides revealing very big spoilers, everything else good in life and whatnot?
Just excited to talk about movies.
Yes.
I
So
got my
today's
list.
video, we are going to be talking about our top 10 favorite movies from 2022. So there is also Oscar buzz. We will be talking about our opinions on the Oscar nominations and things like that. But for now, we're just going to talk about our top 10 movies from 2022. Now, I will say, Savannah, you watched a lot of movies last year. Is that correct?
I did, but I do have to put a disclaimer.
Okay.
I didn't see a lot of sort of the Oscar buzz movies. So I didn't see The Whale, I didn't see Babylon, I didn't see I can't remember the name, but the best friends in Ireland that didn't want to be friends anymore.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
I did not see that. And I didn't see Pearl. So I didn't see a lot of the main movies that people were talking about.
Yeah.
But I did see most of the others.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're wondering why, like, oh, she doesn't have Pearl on this list, she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's just because I haven't seen it. It's based on the
Yeah.
things I've seen.
Yeah,
So
same here. I think I saw less than you because I'm the type of person where if you're telling me, "Oh, I can go see Banshees of Inisherin, for $12, or I could see The Exorcist for $5." Come on, guys. I'm going for the $5 Exorcist. I know it's going to be worth it. It's going to be a solid $5 and everything. So I did go to the movies a lot this year, but I watched a lot of old films in theaters, which don't discredit.
good
That is so
experience.
great. It is
Really
so fun to
fun.
do. Like, it is awesome. And I don't think, like, it's so weird because I do feel like like, sometimes I look at like the movies I watch and I think about like the movies I've seen this year and I'm like, I'm such a bad film critic. I barely watch any of the new stuff. Like, I like the idea of rediscovering old films than watching new films. Does that make sense?
No, and I think there's some like when you go to a theater and you're watching your favorite movie in theaters, I don't think you can get a better experience with a new
Yeah.
film.
Like
Like that's yeah,
nothing like I like the theater
me
experience and stuff
too.
like that, but I would rather watch like a movie that's maybe in my Criterions that I haven't seen in a while at home
Yeah.
than see James Cameron's Tuvatar for 4 hours in there, which I should see, and like not
You should
dissing
see it
anyone,
because
but like, like it's just like I'm part of my brain is like in terms of the experience and stuff like that. So
visually you're gonna be like, oh, okay, visually. You'll be
you know
like,
what it is?
I'm
It's
entertained.
I just feel like a lot of movies, and especially because also keep in mind our theater jacked up the prices. It's a $4 surcharge for me to get a gluten-free bun. What's
That's true.
going
It's
on
not
here?
fair.
What's
They're
going
they're
on here?
capitalizing on you. Who else is going to that theater that has celiac disease? Nobody.
No
So it
one.
was an attack. It was a personal
They
attack
just
for you.
gotta buy one pack of bread a month and keep that in the fridge in the freezer for 3 months and just defrost it when I'm there. Like it's okay. It's fine. But yeah, like I kind of feel like a bad movie reviewer. And I guess some people could say like, yeah, definition wise you are. So I'm hoping to change that this year. I'm hoping I have a nice list of movies that me and my boyfriend collectively want to see together. That includes all of the criterions that I have not seen, which is more than the criterions that I have seen because I have a spending problem. But so doing that and, just pushing myself out there. Go see Tuvatar. It's okay.
Two
You don't need to
Vitar.
buy the $4 surcharge of bread and stuff like that. Just get popcorn. Just get popcorn. Just I'm tired of making the excuses for myself. It's time for me to fully immerse and to be the film bro that I was destined to be. Now, with that said, let's talk about our top 10 movies. I only have one that's number one, and some estimations of where everything else falls in between. Do you have a standardized 1 through 10 ranking?
Yes.
Oh my god, I thought you were gonna hit your keyboard. You wound that up. Okay, so
Do.
do you want to start bottom up?
Yes.
Okay, so you go with your number 10 first.
Okay, number 10. This was a really good year for
Okay.
horror.
Yes.
So my number 10 is Barbarian.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
Barbarian.
genuinely liked it. It was so fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit higher for me on the list because I
Okay.
like, once again, I said I like going to movies and not expecting anything. And that was one thing where it's like there was no way on earth I could have predicted this.
And we
So
saw it together.
yeah, and it was a really
Memories.
weird, I can't even say it was a fun experience because just watching some of those scenes like with my best friend, it feels a little bit weird. It feels like putting on
Your
like,
boyfriend was very upset.
but because all of a sudden I'm a horror movie lover. And this
Yeah.
man looks at me and goes, "You brought me to a horror movie? It's called Barbarian. What did you
Yeah.
think?" So I blame him for that. And you know what? Like, I don't like, and I know he has two things that he cannot watch. He cannot watch amputations and he cannot watch, oh no, three things. Amputations, lobotomies, and dogs dying. So it had none
You
of
have to like
those.
pre-screen every movie to see if there's a dog.
I know. I just look up the common sense. The
Oh,
little parental
smart.
guide stuff. Yeah. So that's why I was like, yeah, like I looked it up. There's nothing in here. And then he's like, "Why'd you bring me to a horror movie?" I'm like, if I literally have to look up the common sense, man, you should know that it's a horror movie. But okay, so for my 10th film, if my thing loads from memory, it was Nope. Nope
Okay.
was at the bottom of my top 10. I really enjoyed the movie overall and I really liked the concept of it. I would say my one gripe, and some people, I saw some weird criticism about it on Twitter where my gripe was I felt like the main character fell really, really short
Yeah.
compared to Kiki Palmer and oh, I'm forgetting his name, but Glenn from The Walking Dead essentially.
Yes.
So I felt like, and it felt like it felt short without purpose, like I just felt like it felt more like a little bit of weaker writing for the main role than this was a character who was intended to be this way. So that was my only thing with it. Otherwise, like, I enjoyed the concept of it. I thought some of the scenes with the monkey and things like that were crazy and stuff like that. So that's just really my one big grip of the film. I saw people on Twitter, you know how it is. They're like, "Oh, you don't know media literacy." Like, as it's just how I've viewed it. I just felt like he was a little bit like lackluster compared to everyone, you know?
I'll be honest, it wasn't one of my I think it's the weaker movie of the three he's made.
Okay.
Not to say that it wasn't good. Like I enjoyed the movie, but I just remember being like, there was so much hype around this. This was like summer movie of the whatever of the
Yeah.
year last year. And I remember leaving the theater like it was good,
Mhm.
but it didn't like I didn't walk out of there like when I did with Get Out, when I did with Us. It was
Oh,
just one of
yeah.
those things where it was just like, okay, like
But
I
I still
enjoyed that.
think I mean, it might be a little bit weaker for Jordan Peele, but you can't
That's what
deny
I
that
meant.
it's still a very, very strong horror movie. It's still a very, very strong sci-fi movie overall. I just have some little tedious because it's it's one of those things where I know Peele can put more. I know that Peele could have
Yeah,
put
we've already
more to
seen
the
what he can
little.
do. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I don't know how else it could have gone about, but that's really my only grip with No. But other than that, like I still very much enjoyed it and I enjoyed the overall experience of it. So,
Cool.
what is your ninth film?
So it's a little movie
A little one.
it's called Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Okay, I've
And
heard
it
of
is
this one.
the sweetest movie about this woman that wants to go to Paris to get a Dior dress in the 50s. And I really liked it because they don't make a lot of PG movies for adults anymore. And it was very wholesome and sweet. And the overall story was cute. It's from a book too.
Okay.
And I just remember in the theater, like, this was so nice. This was a good pick me up. The acting was cute. And I hope in the future they'll make more movies. Just a little wholesome,
I
feel
feel like that's
good.
very it's a British film, right? Primarily a British film.
Yeah, it's yeah, the cast is primarily British.
Yeah.
But
I
it was
feel
so
like that's
sweet.
that like all those like feel good movies, like the Brits know. The Brits know
And
how to
it's
do
not
them.
corny.
Paddington?
They do it really well. It's not
Paddington
like
2?
the best. Downton Abbey. Ugh, love Downton Abbey. But anyway, yeah, I it was really good for a PG movie, was not cheesy, good. It was really sweet. And it was about like the love of fashion and had a really nice theme. So I recommend it. Go see it. It's really sweet. It's
I will
cute.
have to
It'll
check it
make you
out.
feel
It sounds
good.
like a cute little cheeky film.
It is cheeky. Okay,
So
what's your number now?
so I don't know if you were expecting this from me. Maybe so, maybe not. Maybe I am predictable. It's the Batman. I actually thoroughly enjoyed the Batman film.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like the
memory. I really liked it. I thought it was a great experience, and I
you
I
know, I forgot about that movie.
that was
When did we
March
see
of
that?
last
Yeah, I
year.
forgot. It was really good. Everybody gave it a lot of
I thought
problems. Everybody
it
was,
was like I thought it was really good. I really liked how it had a feel that it was more of a almost like it had like a noir but also
yes,
grunge feel to it, especially with sad boy Robert Pattinson and everything like that.
so
But
sad.
genuinely, like I loved the design of these characters. Like I felt like I really loved like the whole Riddler outfit and everything. I really loved like Colin Farrell's transformation into the Penguin. I thought was like incredible. So I genuinely think it's like a great, great movie. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I thought it was like a overall like a really well-rounded superhero film.
Oh,
I
I
don't.
mean, also, that was the most accurate Gotham ever.
Yes,
Like everyone's
yes,
talking about Batman, but like the Gotham City, like it was just accurate. It felt real.
yeah.
So, if nothing else, that was great, like world building.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of people get tripped up when it comes to superhero movies and remakes and stuff like that. A lot of comparison goes on. One thing I like was that this movie did try to be different from Chris Nolan's saga. And I
Yeah, for
appreciate
sure.
that. Not dissing Chris Nolan's version at all. I mean, those are some of like the best, movies overall ever made too. But I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed this adaptation of it. And I'm really excited to see what I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Barry Keoghan.
Yeah,
Keoghan I'm really excited to see his version and variation of the Joker. I don't know how it's going to be touched. I don't think that it's going to be like his own standalone film. I think he'll be involved in the Batman 2, but I'm really excited to see how he is and see him take on that role because I think he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, for sure.
All
It's a
right.
good one.
Next movie on your list.
So I put Elvis, and I will explain why.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I don't have any
No, because I have to
disdain.
explain why, because I have some disdain for it. I have to
Oh,
explain why.
okay.
This movie was like whiplash, 2.5 hour whiplash. I was sitting in the theater like just overwhelmed. It was a very overwhelming experience. But I do like the bizarreness of Baz Luhrmann, and
Yeah.
I feel like for Elvis's story, this was kind of the way it had to go.
Yeah.
Austin Butler did a phenomenal job. I don't want to hear nothing about that man's accent. He put his heart into this movie. Okay.
Bro had laryngitis for 3 years or something. Like it wasn't like he was always sick, like while filming or something crazy like that.
He struggled, but he did a phenomenal job. I have some gripes in terms of like, I feel like for a 2.5 hour movie, it just went fast. I don't even feel like I got like the whole
Yeah.
picture really, but I do feel like this was the best way they could have made an Elvis biopic. The music was great. I think visually it was really fun. And yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's getting a lot of flack because of Tom Hanks particularly.
Bro, okay, that's what I'm gonna say. That's the reason why it's not in my top 10. I cannot handle Tom Hanks in that fat suit. Just I'm going to make you a star, Mr. Prickly. Like it was he shouldn't have been in it as long as he was. Like, or at least
it was
get
also
someone
him narrating
else.
it. It's like, why was he like you could pick up somebody else?
I can't. And then it's like, okay, you put Tom Hanks in a fat suit for 3 hours, but you could only put Austin Butler in a fat suit for 10 minutes. Bro, come on. We know. We've seen the pictures of Elvis. We want historically accurate waist-sized Elvis, which was a bigger man. And I've always said to Savanna, that's my other grip with this film. I want more fat Elvis, and I will not be criticized for it. It's historically accurate. I want to see the peanut butter and banana sandwich Elvis. I want to see the cocaine peanut butter banana sandwich version of Elvis. I want to see that.
They didn't talk about him eating, which was like a really big
come on
situation. But other than Tom Hanks, I like the movie. The music was good.
Super random. Super random. I don't know what made me think about this like within the past week. Part of me was just doing dishes and I was just kind of wondering like, did they make up about the whole eating thing so they wouldn't have to explain the whole drug thing? Because I feel like people, you know what I mean? Like, was that like accurate?
What do you mean?
Like, because he died from like drugs and stuff like that, and like, or at least it really expedited his health at the time, right? I wonder, like, the whole, like, oh, he was a heavy eater. I wonder if they, like, pumped that out when he first died so they wouldn't have to explain it was drugs. They were like, oh, no, it's the peanut butter and banana sandwiches or whatever. You know what I mean? I guess I'll have to consult an Elvis expert.
Probably.
I was just curious about it. But continue.
They don't really talk about the drugs when, like...
That's what I'm saying.
Like, they mentioned he was doing pills in the movie, but, like, they also don't talk about the food. Like, the movie doesn't really address how he dies, which also... probably should have touched on it a little bit more. I'm not
like,
saying they had to like
you may have
graphic.
not wanted to show the man on the toilet.
Yeah,
but
no.
like a little bit more scoop. I felt like that ending and stuff like that. It deviated from Elvis and focused more on Tom Hanks's character. It's like as Elvis is like, and also there were issues with the fat suit too. That was not a believable fat suit whatsoever on Austin Butler.
No,
okay,
yeah,
realistic for Tom Hanks, not realistic for Austin Butler. But it's my gripes with the film. I wanted
me too,
less Tom Hanks. Never thought I'd say that for a movie, and I wanted more fat Elvis.
I agree. It was a fun movie. Just with like kind of what you said with Nope. I just have my things, but I did enjoy the movie. What's your number 8 or number 7?
I don't know. We're still getting through the list. The Menu.
Okay, The Menu's higher for me, but
I know it is.
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you put it on your top 10 list.
I liked The Menu. I thought it was really fun. I liked the characters, and I really enjoyed hating the characters. Not Ray Fiennes, but the guy from Warm Bodies. I hated his character. Like, you just don't understand the cuisine. You know, blah blah blah.
The
And like,
pretentiousness.
I really enjoyed not liking that character, and I kind of enjoyed like it's fun to go to a movie and be a hater, it was fun. It was fun. And I don't mean that in like, oh, the writing was bad or anything like that. It was just like, I don't like these characters, and that's okay. And I just
Yeah.
didn't like them. I did like Ray Fiennes overall. I thought he was the
I understood
strongest.
his pain.
A little bit. It was definitely a little like,
No, this guy's
you
off the
know
deep end, 100%.
yeah, like
But
it felt like a little bit too much of a sob story and stuff, but it was still like fun. The whole idea and everything like that was really fun and interesting. Enjoyed John Leguizamo in that movie too. I liked his character. I like all the little weird niches and everything like that occurred. I thought it was really interesting, and I thought it was really, really like original. It wasn't my favorite film of the year, but I really commend the director and writer for actually like just putting something out there that's kind of like nothing seen before.
yeah.
Mhm. So, what's your next movie?
Number 7 is Bullet Train.
Okay.
Listen, I hated all the comments online saying this movie sucked. It was so bad. That movie was fun. It was self-aware, number one. I think everybody was expecting Tarantino-esque because it was on a bullet train in Japan,
Yeah.
and people were thinking Kill Bill. But it was very self-aware, fun action movie comedy.
Hmm.
It was fine. It was really, really fun. And I think it's the escape a lot of us need when we go to the movies. Like,
Yeah.
it was just fun, mindless fun. We can hang out, laugh at this movie. Brad Pitt is in it, Logan Lerman, Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's for the girlies.
And
It's for the
home
girly
home
pops.
home wrecker Joey King apparently. I still have to see it, but I think your commentary of like, you can just go to movies and
And
enjoy
have
it, and they don't
fun.
have to be serious, and they don't have to be like, I feel like, and this is maybe part of like the whole Scorsese and like Marvel movies, but like, you can just go and watch like a lighthearted, or like something like Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Was that the name of it?
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, or something like Bullet Train, and just go just for the sake of the experience or the enjoyment of it, and just having like, watching something different. So I'm excited to see it. I own it. I just got it recently on DVD. So I am going to watch it soon. It's on my list of things that I have. So if I roll the dice right, which is, I have a list and I'm going through like in terms of like the dice roll. So when I roll it on the number, I will watch it. So it's out of 200 movies. So it's either going to happen real soon or never. So we'll just see. The next movie for me, and look, you guys are going to be like, oh, well, Stephanie, that doesn't count. Look, Clerks 3 was really good. And I think overall, it
What
was
number are we on? 6?
something like that. I don't
6.
know.
Okay.
I'm just getting closer
Number
and closer to
6.
the end of my list. But Clerks 3, I thought honestly was like some of the strongest writing I've seen from Kevin in years. Standing like talking about it from like a viewer perspective. And look, guys, I only worked on it for one day. I worked on it for one day, and it wasn't even a main scene. So don't get it like, oh, she just has, this. I genuinely thought, for someone who's been through the experience, well, no, I never had a heart attack, but for Kevin, someone who's had the experience of going through the heart attack and kind of
Yeah.
being able to write a really interesting and beautiful scenario from it, I thought was really smart, and I thought it was bold of him to do that. You don't normally you either expect some animal being weird from him, or the two goofiest characters known to mankind. So it was definitely, in my opinion, it felt different for him.
Yeah.
And I applaud that. And once again, I didn't see that many films, so that's why it got up on here too. I mean, you saw it with me. So what were your thoughts on it? Because you also
I think
didn't see
no.
2, or did
I
you ever
saw
see?
Clerks 1. I
Okay.
didn't see 2. But I thought like I was able to catch up pretty quickly. Like, it wasn't super hard to understand, but I do feel like it was really awesome to see. It was, for somebody from New Jersey, it was nice to see a positive representation of the state. Um, And it was also just like a really sweet love letter to his career as a filmmaker. Like you can kind of see it. And I love movies where it's about the love of film. And I
Mhm.
do think through this like funny, quirky comedy, like you were able to see.
I can tell Fablemans is not going to be on your list.
Don't get me started. That's on my hate list of 2023. And I'm upset that it even, whatever. We're not
We'll
even going to
talk
get
about
into
it
that.
during our Oscar review, but just so you guys
I have a
know,
rant. I have a
it,
problem.
Savannah views it as a familial hit piece,
It
and
is. It's 100% a hate
we
piece.
will get more into that later on. I actually saw probably like a few hours of the
I felt like
Fablemans,
that.
and I like it's like it's one of those things where it's like kind of with the Jordan Peele scenario, the strengths that a director has sometimes when you've seen, especially when you have as many films
Yes.
as Spielberg and everything. Um, and yeah, it just felt very lackluster, but we'll talk about that during the Oscar talk and everything like that. But yeah, Clerks 3. What's your next film on the list?
Number 6. Oh, number 6.
Just whatever's next on the list. We'll get there.
Oh, Top Gun.
Oh,
I
okay.
really enjoyed the theater experience of Top Gun.
Okay, that's fair.
And it was fun. It was a fun movie. It kind of also Bullet Train. You could go in and have fun. It's
Best
not really
picture
saying
fun?
what?
Best picture fun?
No,
Okay.
but I do think Top Gun deserves some credit in terms of like, as movie lovers, it did bring people back to the theater and it did save a lot of theaters at the time.
Hmm.
So I think there's an appreciation there, but also the movie is just tons of fun. It's just tons of fun. You get to watch airplanes.
I didn't see
And
it, but I definitely did see those Miles Tellers TikTok when they were really
the memes.
popping off.
So it was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Okay. So I just got an alert saying we only have a little bit more time,
Speed
and
round,
that's
speed
okay.
round.
Next one for me, Black Phone. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh,
Loved Ethan Hawke. I thought it was scary without it being over the top, and I just really liked the premise and everything of it. I found it was really enjoyable, and I was kind of actually hoping Ethan Hawke would get some type of nomination somewhere. I don't know, Oscars, but I was hoping
well,
like
we got
maybe
to talk
Golden
about
Globe
that.
or something like that because I thought his performance was really good in it. What's the next film for you?
The next film for me. So number 5 is Triangle of Sadness.
Five? That's
Top
so
5.
okay. All right, let me hear it. Let me hear why it's five and not
I enjoyed
number
the
one.
movie. I enjoyed other movies more. That's the truth. I enjoyed other movies more.
I know you said that you preferred the menu more.
I
So
did, but that was just because I like Triangle of Sadness up until the ending. I'm not a fan of like, I like ambiguous endings, but like that was a little too ambiguous, left a lot of room for me to think at the end of it. But I
okay.
enjoyed the first half of the movie a lot. I enjoyed the allegories. I think the writing was stupendous. I think the idea of it was bizarre, absolutely bizarre. Such a
Tell
fun
me that
theater
was not one of
experience.
the most craziest theater experience
We
you
were
ever had.
screaming in the back row mid movie, screaming on the top of our lungs. Great theater experience, gonna be a great memory. I think the movie deserves so many awards though, on a writing level, directing level, acting level, should have gotten more recognition, but it's definitely number 5 for me.
No problem. I can accept that since you think it deserves awards and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Next film for me, you're probably gonna be like, that was a 2022 film. It was, and it was The Northman, baby. When the
Oh
whole
my god,
I
yeah.
love that movie. That was
The
an
freaking
insane movie and underhyped. Underhyped.
just
Nicole
him in the
Kidman,
background.
I'm not a huge exactly. I'm not the biggest
Half the
Nicole
movie.
Kidman fan, but she scared me like no other in that film.
Scary,
She was
scary.
scary. It got very incestual very quickly, but it
Quickly.
was fun. It was a fun movie. It was insane, and I just loved it. What's your
Really
next
good
one?
Viking stuff. My next
So
one.
good.
It's a little movie called The Watcher, and I'm convinced nobody saw it but me. The Watcher is one
Okay.
of my favorite horror movies that came out last year. It's about a woman who moved to Romania and she thinks she's being stalked by a local serial killer. And the whole movie, you're just trying to figure out if she's just adjusting to her environment or there's something going on. Stupendous film, hour and a half horror movie. Please, please watch it. It's indie, it's fantastic. One of my favorites.
Okay, I have to
So
check it
number
out. I
four
know
for
you were
me.
telling me that you think I would really like it, so I have to watch it. For me, we'll make this
That
one
might be
quick.
number three. I don't know what number we're on, but I have two
I
more
think
to
we're
go
on
through.
yeah, 3. So number 3 for me is Barbarian. I really liked it. I wanted something like Tusk, and I got it. And even with, and I think it's so funny too that it's like, Tusk-esque and still had tell me his name.
Oh, Skarsgård.
No.
Justin
No.
Long. Justin
Yes,
Long.
thank you, Justin Long, who was also in Tusk. So that's what the connection was. Also, I really love the use of having Skarsgård be in it, and you're thinking, oh, he's the bad one, he's this, and then it just totally sideswiping everything. So that was number 3 for me. Number 2 for you.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That is my number 2 as well.
I love this movie so much. Cried. Had so many awesome themes. I'm so excited to see it got nominated the way it did.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful film. So loved it.
Yeah. And like some people may argue that like, oh, like there's other movies and stuff that should whether or not you believe that it deserved nominations or anything like that, it's really, really refreshing to see an indie film. And it is an indie film, even though A24 backed it, whatever it may be, the fact that you only had like 8 or 9 video editors for something like this. And the
Yeah.
fact like it is still indie compared to the 500 million plus, or $1 billion movie like Tuvatar. And
Tuvatar.
the fact that also Daniels were able to actually like swap out, and the fact that James Cameron was not nominated for a director,
But
but
yeah.
Daniels were, I think is incredible. And I think it's just a really great signifying way of like indie cinema is still alive. And I really hope that people aren't afraid to give chances to indie cinemas,
Yes.
So number 1, bestie, lay it on me.
Black Phone.
What?
I love the Black Phone.
I was not
Remember,
expecting that.
I do grade my films off of based of like if I'm gonna watch again,
Watchability.
how I liked it. I love it. Also, I keep in account of like other things like, writing, directing, acting.
Okay.
I thought this was such a good horror movie. We haven't seen anything like this in a very long time. It was very refreshing. The acting great across the boards. I heard people like, oh, the kids were not that good. The kids were
What are you
stupendous.
talking about? What are you talking about? Like that was great.
Little Tom Holland?
It might have not be it maybe I can understand them saying it's not realistic, but it's a horror film with children. Maybe you don't need it to be 100% realistic all the time, but it's a great film.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Ethan Hawke as the Predator, fantastic. That little kid that looked like Tom Holland, I can't remember his name, super cute kid. One of the best child acting we saw last year.
Oh,
the story was good. It made sense. Especially for the
me
time
crying whenever like the people were calling him on the phone and me just going, just sobbing.
I think it was a good old horror movie that worked. I think you could show it to anybody. The timing is good. It's not the most realistic, but I genuinely liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of my favorite experiences, one of my favorite movies I saw last year. So
awesome. I'm happy. That was a nice surprise. I was not expecting it to be your number 1, but you know what mine is because I said it as soon as we were in the theater. Triangle of Sadness. I've seen it 3 times since then. I've seen it 3 times since the first time I watched it.
I know you saw it 3 times.
And it's so good. I own it. I bought it digitally before it even came out on disc.
No, but we have the Criterion coming out.
I never bought the disc, so now I have a digital copy with me everywhere I go, and it's great because this was a film that just captured me. It was so good. It was so unexpected. I love Triangle Sadness, and I was hooting and hollering when I saw that it got Oscar noms. Hooting and hollering. So I am
could have been more nominated.
Could have been more. Yeah, for sure. But hooting and hollering that we got a Best Picture nom out there for genuinely like that and Everywhere All at Once. Oscars, you did good on my terms, just based on those 2 alone. But we'll talk more about that next time. But genuinely, these films have all been great, super enjoyable. Thank you so much for listening. We're happy to be back next time you talk to us. And I have our little list here. We are going to actually be going over On the Waterfront, and then we'll talk about Oscar talk and things like that. So Without further ado, thank you so much. As always, to our loyal Patreon member, thank you for sticking around and not hearing your little shout outs for about a month or so. But we got homeboy James, we got Danny Boy, and we got Sensei
Of
David, and
course.
then we also got our friend in real life,
Ryan.
Rai. We got
Ryan.
Rai. We got Rai.
Rye.
So thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and our personal socials and everything like that. All links are in the description below. And we will see you next time when we talk about On the Waterfront. Bye.